The Apotheosis Archive presents Apotheosis, Aedificatoris and Absentia, Round 5, dated to 23 June 2013. Lomna, Eirene. Eirene gives the mercenaries one final chance to surrender, surrounding them with an impenetrable ring of trees. Through her prophetess she speaks. Either they surrender their arms, apologize, and leave, or they will be torn limb from limb by man and beast, bird and tree. The harassment of Pella stops, and Eirene asks that 10 of her followers leave for Olynthus and Potidae to guide others and tell them how Eirene can help. Eirene will guard whoever chooses to go with lions, as far as her influence reaches. If anyone in those cities is willing to listen, the guide should continue further south and east into the small villages and wild places of Chalcidice. Kamine! Feklu! Feklu warns of the dangers of raising a dead body via sacrifice, and how it could bring about a terrible plague that could ravage all of mankind. Watcher, Orubashi. The attack is glorious, and tensions lessen. Thoumm is becoming more like a warrior monk than a soldier, and he spends his days preaching and giving answers to those uncertain of the word. When presented with the prisoners, he offers a surprising command, to take them into your homes and teach them on the ways of Orubashi. He warns the prisoners directly, his eyes as black as coals, that escape or betrayal shall mean painful death and imprisonment of the soul. Another of his preachings is of self-sacrificing. Those who wish to connect to Orubashi and serve him truly must take themselves to a fire and then throw themselves upon it. The fire shall purge them, but when they die, they shall not die, but their souls shall be plucked back and placed in an owl made of deadly shadows. This way, they shall be true servants and lovers of Orubashi. Finally, Thoumm occasionally speaks that they must keep their eyes open to the skies, for a star shall fall. Where it shall fall, a block of black invulnerable stone will lay, upon which writing will be inscribed. But only virgin girls who have slept with Orubashi, not Thoumm, by the way, will be able to read it. This text is somehow vital, though he has not said how. He does not specify how you exactly sleep with a god either. Jere, Merchan. Merchan tells the brothers that they must stop their misery, for it was not they who did bad in spreading his word, but rather that those men were simply too ignorant to understand. He tells the brothers to focus on their business more and to build it up, as he will guide them to success. Merchan tells the brothers to mainly focus on selling whatever will get the most profit, but also sell necklaces with wooden rings threaded through them, saying any who buy these will have great success and will be blessed by Merchan. Nano, Epithus. Epithus tells his followers, "Tell those who are hungry or thirsty to come to my altar and bring a bucket, and raise my altar upon a wooden platform. Once that is done, I shall give them my blessings." Once this is done, he appears to them in his human form, with the beetle wings raising him up above the altar. He summons the spider again. "I give you the food and water that you need, and so I ask that you listen." I use my illusions to get the crowd to the water in an orderly fashion, where they fill their buckets. Those who have to wait longer for water get bread first. I carry on with this until everyone is sated. I give a message to Epithus. "Go out among the crowds," I tell him. "Those who appear sick or ill, place your hand upon their forehead, and they shall be healed." I have a brief wonder about whether it might heal the queen's barrenness, but I put that to the side. I appear to the crowds once more, making the spider disappear in a puff of fire. "I have fulfilled your request, and now you fulfill mine. I shall tell you of the 5 spokes of humanity's web. Like a spider's web, humanity needs all of its values. If it lacks a single value, then the spider, humanity, becomes weak and it starves. These values are: community. A man or woman who is worthless on their own can be beyond value with the support of others. Even a lame man can become a great king, but without community, they would starve on the streets. Respect. When people lack respect, they make others weak, and they become weak themselves without the strength of others. The greatest general will lose every battle if his men only hold hatred towards him. Thought. When a man or woman does things unthinkingly, they can become a part of the most horrendous atrocities. The boy who steals a bowl of soup may cause somebody else to starve. Forgiveness. Everything can be undone if someone stays bitter about a petty squabble. The argument of a man and wife can become a rolling ball of hatred, tearing them apart. And hope. This is the strongest and most important spoke of humanity. Do not resign yourself to sadness or bitterness. Every man and every woman and every child can make a difference as long as they have hope. Hope means a war can be started and ended without a single sword being drawn. Hope means that a mother can break any limit for her child. Hope means miracles can happen. That done, Epithus disappears in a puff of fire, and an image of a web has been melted into the rock of his altar. Thoumm, Valtariberg. The teacher tells the gods to stop any food from being given to those who do not follow the true god's name. Although he does not speak it, Valtariberg knows that broken people are more easy to control. Visions spread throughout his lands of the death of those who do not follow his path. The vision ends with the words, "Those who do not follow my path are equal to those who rape and kill." Uru, Kai. Kai, through the oracle, appears to his army and to the peoples of Pylos. He reminds them of what the Spartans have done to them, the many deaths of the innocent. He tells them that if they truly believe, they will win the battle and exact revenge upon the Spartan people. In a flash of light, the armor of his soldiers is turned black, and they begin their march toward the invaders. As they exit the city's gates, they are met by a massive, flaming black horse. Archipithecus, Thoumm. Thoumm appears to a farmer. He looks like a tall man standing on a cloud surrounded by butterflies. In one hand, he tosses a pair of knuckle bones. He tells the man, "Pray to me, and your crops shall flourish. In times of drought, you shall have rain. In times of flood, your land shall be dry. Your grapes will be the sweetest in the land. Your olives will thrive. Your sheep and hogs will grow fat, and your hounds lean. All I ask is the ashes of the knuckle bones of every sheep you eat, and carve a butterfly above your door. You will tell the people the secret to your success." Dial for the devil. Round 5 responses. Uru, Kai. Follower count 200,000. Led on by the scorched beast, the people of Pylos march towards the Spartans, eager for revenge for what Sparta did to them. They say that revenge burned so hard in their eyes that fire seemed to jump from their breaths as they spoke like 1,000 roaring lions. Across the night in the Spartan camp, the horses panic and scream, suddenly spontaneously combusting and running around the camp. Sheer chaos grips the Spartans. Your army draws ever closer. New miracles. You have command over horses, and many are beginning to call you the Stallion of the Sun. Lomna, Eirene. Follower count 3,000. The mercenaries retreat out of the forest. Believing Eirene to be a mere witch, the mercenaries begin the slow process of burning down the forest and clearing a path to the center. Groups of farmers who believe the recent crop failures were due to the witch's evils also begin to join the mercenaries. Meanwhile, many of the younger inhabitants of the nearby cities begin flocking towards your cult. The prospect of freedom and living in relative peace is certainly an attractive one. Rumors begin to spread of a great beast which roams the woods and terrorizes those who threaten Eirene. New miracle. You can now birth your very own pet monster. Choose what it looks like and what it can do. Nothing too extreme though. Think the monsters from classics in terms of the strength levels. Watcher, Orubashi, follower count 2,500. Tales continue to spread of the warrior cult, which has been spreading from the east. More and more desperate souls flock to join them as they throw themselves on the fire. Some of them are reborn not as men, but as huge, hulking creatures of molten metal. Your cultists begin to raid nearby temples and burn them to the ground. Priests are butchered, and priestesses are violated. People cry out the name of the one true God in adoration. This extreme form of worship is incredibly potent, and allows you to do something extraordinary. New miracle, the Grand Unveil. Orubashi may speak to the world directly once. I would recommend choosing a place with plenty of people who already know and fear you. Nano, Epithus, follower count 2,000. Word quickly spreads around the city of Chalkis of the miracle healer Apotheosis, the son of God who brings food and water to everyone. It isn't long before people find out his claim to the throne, as thousands begin to flock around him in support of the demigod. Queen Pelagia becomes ever more anxious and begins placing more guards out on the streets. Kamine, Feklu, follower count 468. The followers of the heretic cult viciously attack the village and burn down the village hall while many are still trapped inside. It seems after this act, Phaeston looks to be getting ever closer to walking on the mortal plane once again. Your peaceful followers are at a dilemma and ask what they should do. Thoumm, Valtariberg, follower count 140. The people begin to starve as sheer misery grips the land. They look towards the fort and see the guards looking rather well fed in comparison, and they rise up in anger and desperation. Their hunger and panic means they disregard the vision sent to them by Valtariberg, and they're currently trying to storm the fort. Jere, Merchan, follower count 3. The brothers managed to persuade a sea captain to buy one of the bracelets. Initially believing it would make a nice present for his wife, the captain buys it and boards his ship, which quickly runs into a storm. In desperation, the captain invokes the name of Merchan. New miracle. You can guide those who shout your name. Archipithecus, Thoumm, follower count 2. The farmer does as you ask and notices his orchards appear to glow with vigor, while his hogs fatten nicely. The farmer and his wife carve another butterfly above the hearth, believing that to be where the spirit resides. New miracle. You can cause crops and animals to become more fertile.